Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Duncan White. I'm here at Intersect 2023 and I'm delighted to be joined by Alex Keene. Alex is the European Sales and Marketing Manager for PVStop International. Alex, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Duncan.
Welcome.
Pleasure.
Tell us a little bit more about your role within PVStop and how you managed to get where you are today.
I landed the role maybe 6 months ago. It was a complete career shift for me. I was working in fashion retail for 20, 25 years for some pretty big global brands. An opportunity came up. I was looking for a high growth industry. The renewable energy sector, specifically solar, was what caught my interest. And the opportunity came up to find a solution for a growing solar problem that was made aware to me. I thought, what a great opportunity for learning, developing and expanding with the capabilities, especially the commercial ones, and deliver something of value back to society. So I think that resonated very strongly on a personal values, and I grabbed the opportunity with both hands.
Excellent, and you've got the wonderful privilege of working with the great Jim Foran, who
An absolute treat
is
and a
well
pleasure.
known to us within the sector of what Jim has achieved, and you are taking forward as well is brilliant. Your presentation is going to look at the issues and the hazards, and as many of you know, I've spent just over 30 years as a firefighter, and photovoltaic and solar was becoming just an emerging issue when I was coming up to retirement. So I know that my ex-colleagues are now looking at it and are putting in place systems to deal with that hazard, and I know that PVStop are very much at the forefront of that.
They are. I mean, that was our first global customer, was the London Fire Brigade, a pioneer in innovation and adopting best operational practice for the safety of their members. And PVStop was a natural fit for them. There was an identified risk with solar panels, specifically the production of DC electricity, far more dangerous than its cousin, AC electricity, which can be detected with the hot stick. DC is undetectable, and a growing concern. Solar is proliferating, growing at an exponentially great rate, so that exposure for firefighters was increasing. So London Fire Brigade seized that opportunity for the innovation that PVStop could offer.
Very much so, and I think that what PVStop has brought to the market is something that is simple and straightforward to use. And in the heat of the battle, when the taking of equipment to various heights presents its own challenges, so something that is easy and simple to use as PVStop makes that job a lot easier.
Absolutely. Traditionally, I think the exposure to the risk facilitated a defensive strategy. So firefighters would set a defensive perimeter. They would protect the adjacent properties, but they would not take any risk with their own team members in any way, shape or form. And that defensive perimeter would in effect allow the property to burn. In a controlled way, of course. Exactly, it wasn't just stand back and let it burn. But if they can't isolate the risk, they're not going to take any chances. And PVStop puts them on the front foot. It gives them another tool, another weapon in their toolkit to be able to be proactive, not just in saving lives, but also protecting the asset, protecting the structure.
Very much so. One of the interesting things in relation to PVStop, and we talked about the way that firefighters need to ensure that they are maintaining their own safety. Yes, they'll go in and save lives, as we've always done, but in terms of putting people at risk to a building that is already lost, that's going to take precedence over with regard to life safety. And I like the term you made there as another tool to their armoury. It's another option they've got to put firefighter safety at the forefront.
It does go beyond that. I mean, even to fire investigators. So PV panels, even though they're damaged, continue to produce that electrical output. So even when you're going post-incident to a scene and there's damaged panels, they're still capable of producing a dangerous level of DC electricity. So we're also engaging with fire investigators, with solar audit agencies. So they're inspecting the quality of the systems, and they need a solution that they can rely on. And our solution does offer that reliability, removes the risk, and allows them to operate effectively.
Does exactly what it says on the tin. Perfect. So, how do you see the future of PVStop here in the Middle East? Is it something that's been welcomed by the audience?
It's still very early days, so that's exactly why I'm here, to kind of gauge that interest, initially raise awareness, and then kind of feed off that interest and see what's the best way. We have a very well developed model in Australia, across Europe, UK. I think we're up to 50% of the UK fire brigades now. And it really is that primary channel of first responders and electrical contractors that we want to target in the first instance, and then move on to the solar sector. So we're then talking about PV system owners and operators, because I believe it's unfair for the firefighters to assume all the responsibility for safety.
Yeah.
So system owners will have to stand up at some stage. So there is a secondary phase where we need to engage with the safety standards agencies, the insurance companies, and then start a push towards mandating a safety solution like PVStop to be available and accessible, not just to firefighters, but then training fire safety marshals, so that shared responsibility spreads through society. It's not just all on the firefighters themselves.
Very much so, and you touched on that it's widely used in London, and I think that the fantastic relationship between the UK and the Middle East in relation to technology, especially here in Dubai and the wider UAE, a lot of information sharing takes place.
There's one point that specifically where boys and their toys are concerned, which never gets old, is the drone delivery of PVStop. So for hard to access or remote access, large scale solar farms, which is prevalent here in the GCC and growing exponentially very, very fast.
Yep.
Drone delivery of PVStop offers an alternative, because then you've got the artificial intelligence, the Google Analytics, the infrared cameras on the maintenance servicing aspect, but then the specific application of PVStop with a drone directly to an affected solar system means that response time can suddenly step up and coverage can be a lot more comprehensive.
And there's no need to put firefighters at risk by going up to what is often a high.
Absolutely.
Height. Well, my name's Duncan White. I've been here at Intersec, and it's been my pleasure to talk to Alex Keene from PVStop. Thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you very much, Duncan. Absolute pleasure.